So within Simhub we have Dashstudio. Now, if you're not familiar what Dashstudio is, it basically allows you to connect your phone or possibly a tablet, an HDMI screen, like a fourth monitor, a USB-D 480 and so on. So basically it lets you display a dashboard or a map overlay or say timings for the race for the people's in it and so on. There's so many different options. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over Dashstudio in general, and I'm also going to show you how you can edit the dashboards. So let's go. So here we are inside Simhub, and as you can see on the left hand side with all these tabs, we've got games, car settings, statistics and Dashstudio. So this is the one we're going to be looking at today. You just simply click on this and you can see all the dashes that we can basically have on our screen. Now, I run a 5-inch HDMI output screen. I've got that mounted like a race dash, so that it can display these different dashboards. And as you can see, this is a dash that's like classed as like a Bosch, and I've modified it so that it doesn't have a gear or as such a bigger gear. I have actually modified it lately, and I have put a little gear on the left hand side now, but I didn't have one before, so that's why it was called no gear Bosch dash. So as you can see, we've got all these different dashboards, this one by Whatever, the creator of Simhub. I've got the Bosch DDU4, the Cosworth style dash, Gaugeland dash, Motec style dash, and it tells you who the author is. We've got the Ginetta style, again more Motec style dashboards. Again, I've converted this one to have no gear on it, so that I can just simply see what it looks like. So what I can do now is I can put it in a windowed mode, and I can actually reduce this down, and I can show you what the dashboard would actually look like as I see it on the 5-inch screen. Now you can do this and minimize this down to size as well. You could literally overlay this in your game if you're running in windowed mode and have it at the bottom like where you can see it, and you can do this with many different dashboards, so it's not just this one, you can do it with them all. But like just for demonstration, as you can see, the engine's off because the game's not running. Once that game's running, obviously you'd have the RPM bar, the RPM displayed in like a numerical format and so on. So you know, if you want to run it in windowed mode, you can, but it's much better to have it either on your like classed as a fourth monitor for me because I'm running triples, or a secondary monitor. So as you can see, we can also display like system info. So for instance, like CPU temperature, CPU load, graphics card temperature, the speed of the fan on the GPU, the frame rates and stuff. So you can have that if you wanted to just run Simhub in a game where you're just wanting to get the data from say like MSI Afterburner, so you can just see what what stability you've got. So it's another great function. I sometimes flick that onto system info when I'm just running on a game where it's not like a sim racing game, so I can see that information. Again, we've got the Porsche 911 GT 3R style dash, RSS by David Williams, a stack dash what I've made, another stack dashboard that I've modified and put a gear indicator on. We've got timings. As you can see, there's so many different dashboards. You can find a lot of these on Race Department. I've got the Sauber dashboard, Aston Martin, we've got the Audi TT clocks. The list just goes on and on and on. And as you can see, this is one that I've made, which is just a track map and like a car radar, or is known in a set like Helicorsa. And you can just basically, this is one that I made years ago that I was just testing and messing about with, making sort of like a radar, sort of like battleship style. We've got a concept dash, control center, again Corvette style dashboard. I actually made just a Defi boost gauge, because you can just simply download an image from the Google or just any web browser, and you can save it. And what you can do then is you can actually put like gauges pins on and needles and things like that, so that you can actually get it to sweep. You've just got to edit the needle so it's not seen, so you have to sort of do it in like a photo editing app, so you get rid of the red needle and make it black. Obviously we've got the Ferrari 458, Ferrari 488 GTE, Ferrari F40 clocks, Ford Focus, Ford GT, Formula 1, Again, this is another dashboard that I've made, and you just name them. You can just simply model them and copy them. I made one here for like a track map, the speed, a gear indicator, and I've just put a stack logo on to make it a bit like a stack dash. We've got generics 90s Indies car dash. Again, another Genetta. We've got a big Helicorsa one. An Innovate style boost gauge that I use, and then it's got the pedals on, track map and so on. So yeah, the list's endless what you can do within Dashstudio. You can do so many different things with it, as you can see as I scroll down. We've got leaderboards by Frederick. There's so many, just it's endless. The amount of dashboards that you can find online, and like I've said, race department was a big one. There's people who are putting all the data on there all the time. We've got like a Renault dash, so no matter what you race or what particular things you like to do, even if you do like for instance Euro Truck Simulator, I've got a Scania dash for that. I've got the Scania R500, you know, the Mercedes one, Volvo FH16. There's so many different dashboards that you can find, and you just simply download them and you just literally drag them and drop them into your Dashstudio folder, and that's it. It will be displayed in here, and then all you do is simply click on this, whether you want it in windowed mode like so, and then it comes up as you know, like I showed you before. It just comes up like this, and obviously there's no data on it, so it's not going to be lit up. So you can run it like that, or if you want to like run it on a secondary monitor, a third monitor, a specific monitor, or a USB D480 screen, the VO core. Again, you just click on this and set it to where you want it to see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to show you my dashboard. And what you do is, with this dash here, you can click on more, and you can edit the dashboard. Now, as you can see, this is the editing part of Dashstudio, and all you want to do here is click on this so it makes it to full screen as the window that you're seeing. And you can see the added things that I've added in, like I've put some text in for GPU, and then obviously if we click on this, it tells us here on the right hand side what it is. So if we click here where it's green, this means we've inputted some data. So if I click on this, you can see we're using Afterburner as a plugin, and we're showing the GPU temperature in degrees. Now the result format shows you how it's seen, and then at the minute it's 31C, so you can see that information right there. So again, the same for this. The GPU is what I've written above, so that when it's displaying the data, I will then see that the GPU is at 31 degrees. Again, CPU, so now it's the CPU temperature, and if I just click on this one, again, come down to the text tab, and this is where you'd click on this to get this data from, and you'd simply click on this, and then you'd click on insert a property. So then what you do is go into the Afterburner plugin, and as you can see, we'd look for CPU temperature, which will probably be right down at the bottom of Afterburner, and it's easier just to filter it like so. And as you can see, we get the temperatures for each core, or if we just want simply the CPU temperature, we just select that. So obviously I'm not going to change this now because we've already got it selected, and as you can see, it's the Afterburner plugin, CPU underscore temperature underscore degrees. You could write this data in as well, you don't have to pick the value, but it's easier. And as you can see, the temperature's changing all the time on the CPU, and it's showing you the real result of it coming out. So that's what it's actually showing now on my 5-inch screen. So again, we've done the same with the FPS. So it displays the frame rates while I'm in the game, so I can just quickly glance down. I do show the data as well up on the screen, but sometimes if you're looking at a gear change, you might just want to look at that information. So what I've done here as well, like I've said, is I've inputted a gear indicator, and it's just like this information here, gear, and then obviously there's no gear showing, so it's just showing as nothing. And then I'm using, so what I've done is change the font, so you just come down here and you go to font, and then you can change to the style of the font that you want, which I'm like the LCD mono, so it looks like the old sort of 7-segment style gear. If you don't want it to be showing, you just simply click on either delete it, or you can come up here and hide that actual item. So if we were to just go up here to the gear, as you can see, you just click on this, and then that information won't be displayed when you're using it in the game. And as you can see, that shows visible, not visible. Or you could just simply tick it there, it's up to you. So That's one way of editing a dashboard if you're wanting to see more information that's inside it. So just going back to the main screen now, if we look at this LED set and we just click on this, as you can see, it says Open Integrated LED Settings. So we've got it visible, we've got a black background colour. This is the height and the width of where the LEDs are set. It's -7 from the top, and once you adjust this up and down, as you can see, it just brings LEDs up, brings them down, or up, down on the number, puts them up on the screen. And then this is just basically your orientation and of where you want the actual LEDs to be set. So as you can see, I've got 14 LEDs with an number 8 LED spacing. You can have them vertical, but obviously they're just going to go off the screen now because of how they've been set. Set the blink delay, and basically this is just some LEDs that scroll up with RPM. So I've got them at the top of my 5-inch screen. So you could easily add them into it as well. And again, it's just another great feature of Simhub, because literally the sky's your limit. Whatever you want to put on this display now, you can. You can simply just put any information you like. If you want a basic dash, if you want to modify one that's already been done, if you want to create your own, you can. So what I'll do now is I will show you how to create a blank dash and start from afresh and just put some basic information in. So you want to come back to the main Dashstudio dashboard, and in the top right here you can click New Dashboard, and we'll just call this Test, because obviously we're just going to make a simple dashboard. And then we come into this window here. So as you can see on the left hand side, you've got all the different functions like an image, a text, rectangle, a linear gauge, and so on. So we're just going to add text, and I'm going to put that in the center. Okay, so as you can see here, we've just moved it like this, and you can see the numbers changing on the right. So if you just want to set it in increments, we can do that, or we can use our arrow keys up and down, left and right, and so on. So if you want to change the size of it as well, so obviously if you want to make it a lot bigger rather than holding down the numbers, it's probably easier just to press sort of 500 and then 500 in height, and then we can just drag it into place. Now I'm just going to half that because I want to show you how to put miles per hour on or something as well. So I'm just going to put the display there. So at the moment we've got text written there, and that's because we haven't put any information in. So the background's transparent. We're just going to come down until we see where it says text. So what we do here is we click on computed value like I showed you earlier, click on this, and then we're going to filter it down to gear so that it finds it easier. And you basically want the game data gear tab to show in-game gears, and then just click OK. What we're going to do then is we're going to display the text is showing as a normal. It's in a horizontal alignment to the left, so we want to click on center, and then vertical alignment, we want it on center. Now obviously this gear indicator has got a big box, but it's going to be a small display inside, so we need to change the font size now and make that bigger. So we can literally just hold this up until we get it to a decent size, or we can just simply put in a number of like 100. And what I'm going to do then, instead of having text so I can see what a neutral would look like, is I'm going to see as an N, so we can see that now that's how we'd see neutral, and we can see that we've still got a massive amount of headroom to play with, so we can make it sort of 300, and then we could just make it a little bit smaller, say 280, and then literally make this box a little bit bigger. So we just come back up and we change the height, and we just change that to sort of 260, maybe 280, so we've just got a little bit of room. Okay, and then once we've done that, we can, if you like that style of font, that's fine, but obviously I'm just going to show you how you can change it. You can make it italic, you can make it bold, you can make it extra bold if you like. So we're just going to go with, say, an extra bold, and we're going to go back to we're just going to look at a random one now, so let's just pick that, Again, it's not really a gear indicator sort of logo, so we'll just go back to for the LCD mono, because like I said, I quite like the look of that as a gear indicator. It makes it look like that traditional style. Now obviously that's in white. If we wanted to change the colour, we just come down here to text colour, and then we can pick whichever colour we want. So let's just go with red, and that's our gear indicator done for in the game. So every time you launch the game now, and Simhub is seeing the data from the game, i.e. Assetto, iRacing, whatever game you may be on, that gear indicator will just cycle through the gears. We're showing it as an end so that when we have this screen on our dash, that's what you will see on the dash when it's in like an non-idle, in an idle mode, non-game mode, sort of like your desktop. So for instance, now if we want to do speed as well, we can just drag another text box in, and we can change the size of it. So we're just going to change this to sort of like 400, and then height maybe 200, and then I'm just going to literally drag this into position, just something like so. And again, we're going to go through the same procedure. We're going to come down to text, we're going to go to FX, computed value, insert property, and we're going to go to speed, and then we can see all the different ones. So obviously we've got the speed of the afterburner and the system info. So we're looking for game data speed, and as you can see, the data core plugin, game data speed miles per hour. So we want this one here, and click OK. Again, I'm just going to change this text to a 0, because the reason why I'm doing that is so I can see when I align it to the right how much we've got room for a 3-digit character, because obviously we'll be going over 100 miles an hour, so you're going to need 3 digits. If you don't have enough room, it won't display that information. So again, horizontal alignment, this time I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to go to the center, and I'm going to come back down to the font size, and I'm going to change that to 200, and we can go up a little bit more, 240. I'm just going to move this into position and just stretch this box out a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. Again, just dragging it into a position. It doesn't really matter about the box being lined up. I'm particularly looking at whether the numbers are lined up with the gear indicator. So as you can see now, we've got this. I'm just going to actually leave this in this style now, because when the speed's going up, we'd know that this is gear and speed. But if you wanted to put something in like lap time, once you put that lap time in underneath, you'd actually could drag another box in and just label that as lap time or L stroke time or something like that, and then you know what that particular display is showing. Because once you start adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, like I've done on mine, you can get confused. So obviously I've got lap estimate, last lap, fuel, position, what lap I'm on, the actual time that it is now. I've got that displayed in the bottom right. I've got driver in front, driver behind. So when I'm online, I can see what friends in front and what friends behind me, so I know where they are. Again, just so many features you can do inside this. So all you've literally got to do is just play with all these little things here and just keep dragging them over, adding them like a linear gauge, dial gauge, and so on. You can just keep dragging them in, inserting the properties what you want to see, and you can really have fun and play with it. So at the moment we've got that as a 0, so we know that we can definitely have enough room there to get 3 characters in. Even if we was to go up to 200 miles an hour in some vehicle, we know that we'd have enough room inside this, and that's the main thing. So what I've done is I've actually launched Assetto Corsa, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this in windowed mode. I'm going to drag it over the existing dashboard and show you how it works. So once you've completed your dashboard, you want to just click on File and click Save, and then that data will be saved. Once back in the main screen of Dashstudio, obviously it's in alphabetical order, so you want to scroll right down to the bottom, and as we can see here, we'll have Test, and we're just going to click on Windowed mode. And as you can see here, I'm dragging the little dashboard in that we made in a windowed style format. Even though it's black, you can see that it is a rectangle. And as I apply a gear now into first, into second, third, it'll display the gear. So if you simply wanted to just make a gear indicator as an overlay for in-game that look pretty cool, this is an easy way to do it. You just literally do what I've shown you in the earlier stages of this video. Just follow everything I've said and it'll work exactly the same for you. You can also just have it for on your 5-inch screen or a 7-inch screen. Again, all the different types of monitors and stuff that you can use, you can do exactly the same in them. It just depends how you want to output it within Simhub. This is in windowed mode. You'd have to display it on a specific monitor or secondary monitor, etc. So as you can see, we've just applied first gear. And we can see that the speed is slightly off because of how Simhub's been displaying it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now how you can change that. So here we are back inside Simhub. What you want to do is come over to your Dashstudio. We've got the dashboard that we're showing, it'll be at the top. And as you can see, we just want to click on more, edit dashboard, and then we just want to go to the speed one, click on this item, come down, and then where the output is for it, where it lights up green for the property, click on this. That will bring you back into this menu here. So then as you can see, the result format, we just want to see it as a 0, and then click OK, click on file, click on save. We want to just then close this down and then launch this again in windowed mode. It's going to drag that dashboard back into place again, so it's where it was roughly. And as you can see now, when we drive, the speed is in the normal mile per hour reading. And we're just going to third gear. Just have a little drift around this corner. So as you can see, we've just got a simple gear indicator, a mile per hour reading. All the gears work as they should, and it's just an easy way of making a dashboard. Plus you can edit others. It's simple to download other dashboards from like Race Department. Just going to stall the car there, just so you might be able to hear me better. But if you do want any of the dashboards I have, then just drop a comment below. I can put them in a folder again and zip them up. You can have all my dashboards and you just simply drop them in to your Dashstudio folder within where you've installed it. So for instance, like C drive, program files, I think it's program files x86 actually, Simhub, and then Dashstudio, and then all your folders there. Just simply drag them folders in, drop them in there, and then the dashboards are already installed. Go back into your Dashstudio within Simhub, and straight away you've got all the dashboards displaying. So I hope this video helped you understand a little bit about Dashstudio, how you can edit the dashboards and how you can make your own. I'm going to be doing more videos in depth about Dashstudio. This was just simply a basic understanding and rundown of how you can make a basic dash and edit it. So if you did like this video, then please hit that like button, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you already haven't, and hit that bell notification for all the content that I upload on a daily basis, and I will see you in the next one. I stayed for a long time 'cause I like me better when I'm with